Breaking news here from the Canyon Springs Library and Media Center podcast Makerspace. This is Easton Drayton, and we have some news to report. Mr. Canfield is our new principal. Just days after it was official, here is Mr. Canfield in his first ever Principal's Corner, alongside myself, Jerry Rice, and Dr. Rico. Enjoy.
And folks, for our very first Principal's Corner with Mr. Canfield, our brand newly minted principal, take it away, Jerry and Eason.
Hello, Mr. Canfield, or should I say Principal Canfield.
You can call me Mister, but I appreciate you guys having me today.
So how are you feeling? You just turned a principal. Any new ideas, any bridges that you've crossed now that you thought you couldn't cross before?
Well, I mean, the last couple of days, weeks have been pretty overwhelming, right? Mm-hmm. So just going through the process, and CCSD does a really good process of interviewing, vetting candidates, and so it took a little bit of time. But once we got to the point where they decided to appoint myself to the job, it was very gratifying, very humbling. I was very proud. This is the school I wanted to be the principal at. The kids are fantastic. The staff is amazing. And I just know that I am so lucky to be able to be the leader of this school for the next handful of years, hopefully until I retire, right? That's the goal. But any initiatives that we want to put forward for the next couple of years or even this year, we really want to build on the One Canyon program that we started, me and Jerry started the last couple of years, and really want to expand that with the community. I want to do a lot more community outreach. I want to ensure that everybody's welcomed, and I want to hear their feedback on what they want to do. So that's the first initiative, is really reaching out to the community, letting them know who I am, having coffee with them, having conversations with them. I want to create something called Coffee with Canfield, and so maybe we can do that once a week or once a month with the community, and really just make sure that they know that we're all in this together, and we're building our legacy together. We're all in this as a team, so that's one of the initiatives.
Please let us know how we can assist.
Absolutely.
The Coffee with Canfield or anything. If you want us to record it up here, we'd be happy to.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Good deal.
So could you explain to our listeners, what was that feeling like when you got announced, I'm the principal?
Great question. It was extremely, like I said, humbling and overwhelming, the response from the staff. So we did it on a Google Meet, essentially. And so they had to organize it within 15 minutes because they wanted to make sure before Labor Day that the staff knew who the new principal would be. So they organized it very quickly, and then our region superintendent got online and said, we're now going to announce the next principal of Canyon Springs. And then when it was announced, it was my name. The staff, it was amazing. It was a good couple minutes of just joy, and it
Absolutely.
made me feel so good. You know what I'm saying? That I knew that they had my support, that they knew that I cared, that they wanted me, that they knew that the work I've done the last couple of years, and we wanted to continue to grow and do the work that we've done the last couple of years. So that feeling was just very gratifying to me, and very it just made me proud and humbled that we can continue the work that we're doing. So yeah, it was just exhilarating.
It was amazing. I've been in education close to 30 years. Never experienced that type of camaraderie, getting behind a person. And I'm really proud to have Mr. Canfield as my principal and supervisor. He's very approachable. When I first started out in teaching, I had this principal, Mr. Lucrezio. He was probably close to retirement. What do you want? You had to schedule the appointment. Whenever I need something, whenever I want to talk to him about something, whether it's personal or work, he's got an open door with me. So I feel very happy about this. And I think my sentiments are echoed by the staff.
Absolutely, and the students as well. When you were on that podcast, and I knew that one day we would need a new principal, I knew it was going to be you. You and Mr. Marcuzes were always on it. You knew what the school needed. You knew to reach out to the students so the students can help build the community. It's not just about the staff. But as the first podcast you were on, I knew you were going to get it. It wasn't a issue with me. But since you've climbed up the ladder now, is the view different?
Ooh, that's a good one.
He has the best questions. I mean, and to be all completely honest, I really am just settling in. So yeah, the view's a little different, but I'm still doing the same work that I was doing before. So I supervise the magnet programs and I supervise social studies. I'm continuing that work. Now, obviously, there's other layers of work that now I'm responsible for, right? So the change, I haven't moved my office yet. I plan on doing that in the next couple of days. That might make me feel a little different too, being in the principal chair at that point. But yeah, I'm just still doing my day-to-day grind. What I do each and every day. Obviously, there's additional work that needs to be done, but yeah, so that's the only real change is that additional work that I'm having to do. But I still supervising everybody I supervised and engaging with students every day. I love lunches are my favorite part of the day because I get to see the kids. I mean, I always talk about that with like my family too. Like, what's your favorite part of the day? It's with the kids. Like, because I mean, we have such a great group of kids here, and it's just I'm excited to go to lunch. Oftentimes, people aren't excited to go to lunch. I love to engage and just have those conversations, build those relationships, and so I'm still doing day-to-day. I'm picking up trash every morning, every lunch period, and just being that example for everybody on campus. And so I imagine as the months go by, things will change with regards to my role, but it's pretty typical right now.
Is someone going to like fulfill your old position, or is just kind of just limbo?
Mm-hmm.
So we're gonna get we're gonna fly another assistant principal job in the next week or two, and see what candidates come out of that, right? But that process usually takes a month or so, to get it all done. But yes, we plan on replacing kind of what I was doing into that role, and that'll kind of free me up and allow me to supervise. I need to supervise my administrators, but I also need to supervise teachers. And I want to supervise teachers in particular that are like maybe department chairs, where they're leaders of their departments, where I can integrate myself in each department: math, social studies, science, English, and make sure I'm aware of everything that's happening in these departments, making sure academics are moving forward, making sure kids are growing academically and socially. So I'll definitely be supervising teachers and the administration, and then also community outreach.
Are you looking to open, well, not looking to open, but are you thinking about opening more student-led programs?
Absolutely. Give me an example.
I would say, well, video production isn't really an example. It's kind of student-led, but something similar to that.
Yeah, I mean, anything student-led, I'm completely in agreement with. Going back to Jerry, you took the initiative for the One Canyon project. That was student-led. It was an idea that I had, but really you were the forefront person that really put that together. So those types of initiatives, absolutely. If students come with ideas and they want to put forth their initiative, I'm wholeheartedly supportive of student-led programs.
Yeah, it's 100% true. When I was thinking about my project and I came to speak to you about it, you were very attentive, you had questions, like you seemed genuinely like you were here for it. And so I would recommend students, if you want to do anything or just want to talk about it,
absolutely,
definitely Mr. Canfield.
And also we have the resources, we have the connections, whatever you want to do. If you have an amazing idea but you don't know where to go, come to my office and we can game plan an opportunity and see where it goes from. And that's kind of how you started. You just stopped by and said, "This is what I'm thinking." I said, "This is perfect." And then you did all the work, but I helped you guide and got you in contact with certain people. Yeah.
So is there any rules and regulations that you're thinking about putting in place now?
That is new?
That is new, yeah.
New. Well, the cell phone bag policy is not my idea, but that's one that I want to enforce. So I came from a school that we had no cell phones, period. Not even earbuds, not during passing period, only at lunch, before school, and after school. It took a while, but you built a culture and climate, and within a year or two, as the administrator, there wasn't a battle anymore because you kind of knew what you were getting into, right? But I want to continue that because academic engagement and discourse is so paramount to every single class period that the cell phones are a distraction. They're a great resource, but they could be a distraction. I do want to build a committee on AI. And so seeing how we could use it, I think it's a great benefit to the students. It's a great tool to use, but we got to use it appropriately, right? How does that look? We're going to have a committee kind of look at policies and rules and procedures for that. I want to utilize those type of tools. So that's another piece that I really want to tackle with, like, how can we incorporate AI, but do it with fidelity? And then the other policy, my big one is tardies. I know some of it is a struggle getting to school because buses are late, but once you're on campus, we got to go to class on time. And then ensuring that the ID badges and the scanning system, we're kind of in the infant stage of that right now. We're working through the kinks. I know there's been issues, and I got that. And we're talking to teachers about what their concerns are. They're in the classroom. They're in the front line with it all, so we always want their feedback. But ensuring that ID is so important, and I see kids wear the ID much more because you got to check in with it now. You got to check into class with it now. It's almost it's your ID. It's your badge to walk around school, right? And so making sure we're reinforcing those types of things. And then also the campus monitors, we gave them all iPads where they can kind of track and monitor where kids are out. Most of the times kids aren't out too long, but if you're out wandering for, over 20 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever it might be, we want to make sure the parents know that we know where their students are at all times. It's safe, and make sure the kid gets back to class in an appropriate time frame. So those are some of the ideas that I really want to focus on.
Right. I really enjoy the scanner policy, actually. I believe it, of course, lets people wear these more, but it also cuts down on wasted time for attendance. It really allows a student to be engaged in a classroom the second they walk into it, not be like, okay, there's 5 to 10 minutes. They're going to be calling out names. I'll just wait for mine, which could lead to someone getting on their phone. Mm-hmm. And once you're on the phone, because I know I go home and I get on Instagram and 3 hours pass. So I think the scanner is a good idea. And then the iPad with it has its kinks, but what doesn't have its kinks?
100%. And we're working through those. And I'm talking to principals at other high schools, and, we're all just trying to collaborate. But it's technology. You just got to work through it. But honestly, since the rollout, we've had our issues, but it's not overwhelming, right? Mm-hmm. And so just getting comfortable with it. And within the next school year, it'll be like a no-brainer. You just know what the policy is, what the routine is. But it takes time when you put a new program in and for kids to get adjusted to it, right? But I appreciate your feedback on that the IDs work. So
well, about the phone policy, too, like in my magnet classes, we're able to have like more in-depth conversations or just some of the most just interesting things people are saying now that they're actually like paying attention and they're willing to like listen. And I was kind of hesitant about it because I like to listen to music, but also it's just nice to like talk to my peers a little bit more, especially it being our senior year. Like I'm having conversations with people I never thought I would, and so I definitely think it's helping me like my socially in the classroom. So it's not too bad. Yeah, I enjoy it.
No, I always find that. Your cell phone's right next to you. It's right there. You can look at it. It's in that pouch. It's not going anywhere. Nobody's taking it, right? Obviously, if there's an emergency, we can always accommodate those types of things, right? Of course, we're fair with all that. But those 82 minutes that it just sits there, the discourse, conversations, learning, the academic growth, that's the most important thing, right? And you can always get on that phone at 1:17, and sit on Instagram for the next 3 hours and do your thing.
I'll work on that.